Welcome back, everybody. So today we're going to have the first tasting of batch number 4 in my 5-gallon split batch. Now this is the first batch of 2020. I made a 5-gallon batch in the Anvil Foundry, split it into 5 1-gallon containers. So for the grain bill, 9 pounds of 2-row, 1 pound of Caramalt, 1 pound of flaked wheat, 1 pound of white wheat. Did I say flaked rye? Then 1 pound of white wheat. For the boil, 1 hour boil, 1 ounce of Warrior at 60. That is it for the boil. Whirlpool, so cool it down after the hour to 170. 1 ounce of Amarillo, Chinook, and Citra for 20 minutes. Then for the yeast, IPA, Omega 052. Yeast. This is the Mosaic version. So for Mosaic, it does have berry, flavors, and earthy. So berry, earthy. Pick which one you want. I would rather lean towards berry. Bottled on 6/18, 6.89% ABV. Let's go ahead and get it open. This is, in case you haven't checked out the other ones, this grain bill is taken from my rye IPA. All I did was I pulled out the rye malt and put in white wheat. Over the last year, that white wheat, that's like all I want to brew with. So I'm like, let's put it in here. Let's put it in there. So let me know what your go-to wheat is, or malt is, I should say, because yeah, for about the last year, it's been white wheat for me. And actually, I think I've had three wheat batches not turn out. It's almost like I let them ferment too long. I'm thinking that's what it was. Like all wheat beers, 3 of them this year that I've had to dump, but they're 1 gallon, so it's not that big. It's just, you know, the time it takes to brew that. Nice white, off-white, nice white. Nice head, off-white in color, small and medium bubbles, a finger of head. For the color, orange, lighter orange than the other ones. I can make out the light box, but that's about it. Good bubble level in there. That wheat should add protein in there to make it a little cloudy. The IPA yeast should also help with cloudiness. So if you're making a hazy beer or a New England, add some wheat, get a yeast that'll leave some cloudiness. There's also some hops that'll stay in suspension for you too. Let's go ahead and smell. Yeah. Like a sweet berry. I almost said like a smoothie. Definitely has that cotton candy vibe. Now, Big Lake Brewing, they have a cotton candy haze, I believe it is, that we've reviewed, and that it does kind of have that. Now, I could just be saying that I believe that cotton candy haze is using Mosaic for that berry, but yeah, that sweet berry candy is kind of what I get out of this. It smells very good. There's a little weediness in there. I think as long as the rye is low, I think it'll be good. I don't know how well that rye is gonna, play with that cotton candy sweetness in there, but we're about ready to find out. Okay, a little generic berry. There is some spice in the back, and I think it knocks out that candied berry sweetness in here. Like you get that candied berry sweetness up front, but then there's a little weediness. It goes back into some spice. There's a little bitterness, but the aftertaste is mainly spice, and I'm pretty sure it's spice over bitterness because it's in my mouth, and usually the bitterness hits my throat a lot more, and there's really no bitterness in it. It's just a lot of spice that comes out as your palate warms up. Yeah, it seems like that sweet berry cotton candy flavor is in the aftertaste, but it's almost instant. Like it's there, then it's gone. Then that rye takes over. I bet you if the rye was out and now I want to make a batch without that rye in there, it has to be from the flaked rye. Most of the time, Chinook would give you a spiciness, but 95% of the time, at least for me, it's citrus, and there's really no citrus in this beer. I think the rye is a little overwhelming. But again, at the beginning, I said, I don't think they're going to match up, or it would be a very good beer if that sweet berry cotton candy mixed with that rye. Yeah, it's good until the aftertaste. I guess I should say it's fine until that weird aftertaste kicks in. Like my whole entire mouth is covered with spice, and that's like it. There's a little bit of weed in there too, weediness, like from batch number 3. That weediness that I was saying that I was getting is in this one. But yeah, that's good. What would I brew this again? No, I would take all the flaked rye out. I would probably take the Chinook out and see what would happen with that, just to make sure it wasn't that Chinook being amped up or coming through as something different, just mixing with those hops. I got that rye in batch 1, batch 2 really not at all. So it could be a combination of the hops, like that Enigma was giving off something different. That was in batch 2. But yeah, this one I feel I would take the Chinook, take the flaked rye out, and just brew that and see what I got. I think that would be a good beer. I'd probably put in some Mosaic in the Whirlpool also, and in the dry hop to see what that did. But yeah, overall, good beer. Just need that rye out, at least for this beer. I like those spicy beers. I like most of them in the rye IPA. It's just that berry or fruitiness doesn't mix very well with the rye. So yeah, let me know what you think about it. Have you used rye with fruitier hops, and how have they turned out? If you enjoyed this video, check some more out over here. And until next time, happy brewing.